Hi everybody, welcome to this Marvel Avengers Alliance video here on G4G. Today's background music is brought to you by Concentration Programming Music. It is actually a mix of songs, the link will be in the description. And today we're taking a look at a team up called Team Energy to Burn. Now this is a team that I happen to use for the Spec Ops. I was going through the mission where you can get all of the weapons, as the last one that I had to get was actually the anti-Kurth one, the one with the runes not taking effect. And, you know, with the amount of gold and everything lately, I figured I'd go through respins and stuff, and I actually managed to get it with only one respin. So I happened to use this team to go through that entire mission. I was like, I really like this. This is pretty cool. No, it is not this. So it is going to be Adam Warlock and Carolina Dean. And this, like I said, is Team Energy to Burn. Now, for the agent, it could be many, many different kinds of suits. However, I'm actually going to go with one of the flight suits, due to the fact that if you are in the flight suit, you are doing energy, which still helps the team out. So I'm going to go through the gear, and you'll be happy to see that I'm finally getting around to using the Cosmic set in a video. So I have the Cosmic Cardinal because I find the set to be very stamina intense. And then I have the Queller, the Decimator, the Terminating Javelin, and the Radiant Shield. Now, what you can do is, since none of these say that you have to have X amount of pieces in them, you can break this down a little bit, because as you can see, grants an extra turn with any other piece. Grants a, let's see, applies Cosmic Glow and Burn with any other piece. Terminating Javelin really goes off the Decimator. So you can take the Radiant Shield out if you wanted to, and put in something else. If you have the Rectifier, oh sweet God, and the Rectifier is amazing for this, because basically everything everybody does is energy. So the first one I'm going to go through is with the Radiant Shield on, and then I'll switch it up. I'm running Adam Warlock, and I'll show you what I've done for him. So he is running a Violent, some Steadies, some Patience, and some Sturdies, and as you can see, he's 5-barred in Health, Defense, and Accuracy. I left Evasion alone, and Stamina generally alone. Phased Frequencies, Collateral Damage, Gamma Charged, Mauling, Grace, which seems rather obvious, and Powerful Attack. On one of my favorite all-time heroes in the game, Carolina, she of the Vagina Beam. She is running Phased Frequencies, and she happens to be running her personal one called Blinding. Gamma Charged over there, and apparently I'm missing a few things, so you know what, let's get another Gracious, because why not? I have 1700 gold, it's not going anywhere, so may as well get a Gracious over here. Lucy in the Sky, Ranged, Energy, and Radiation. This one is basically used for the stun. It's not really the kill that much that goes on with this one. So honestly, a good one for that would be Ionizing. I'll just steal Cammy's. I don't need to buy another Ionizing there. And then on Empyrean Flare, I have Charged Attack, Increased Chance to Crit. I find that kind of sad that it says the crit chance is only 22% even after giving it an increased chance to crit. I don't know really what's up with that. And stat-wise, as you can see, she's topped out in Health, Attack, Accuracy, and Evasion. She's probably set up the PKB method. Adam Warlock was done by eyeball. So, Let's go ahead and take a look at these guys here. And it came about because I realized just about everything that Adam Warlock does is energy. And who better to set up a purely energy person with than Carolina? Alright, so I like to open up with flanked. Flanked is always good. And as you can see, Carolina's gaining a stack already. That's the interrupt from the Cosmic Decimator. She's gaining a stack. And I now get the extra turn. So, at this point, if you're concerned about some debuffs that are on your team, you can use the Radiant Shield. Or you could potentially hold it, which is what I'm going to do. The Cosmic Queller is not subtle and it is not stealthy. So that's something to take into account when using it. I always lead with the Decimator because it is less stamina than the Javelin, and the Javelin has a chance to follow up on it. So why not bait it out with the weaker or the less stamina? And Caroline is at full charge right now. That's 5 stacks ready for her. Which she's not going to be able to do because she got stunned. So I'll put up the shield, and I will actually switch to the suit. Because to quote the police, everything she does is magic, but in this case, everything she does is energy. I'm just gonna pass my turn because I want Carolina to go. Now, if she wasn't stunned, she would have put up her prismatic shield so that everybody gets shield slam. But instead, watch this. Kamehameha wave for nearly 30k. I have tried Carolina teams before, but they've generally fallen short because of Kurth. And Kurth had that whole anti-radiation thing going on. Well, eventually that got nerfed. So it brings Carolina's potential a little bit more back to the field. I tried her with Measured when it first came out, and this was probably one of the more famous moments on my streams in the last year where we were trying Carolina out. And it wasn't bad, but it was not what we had thought it would be. And it was really, really sad to see it not work that well. And the idea was, I mean, every time she gains a stack, she's restoring stamina, so she's always going to be super high in stam. I think in this particular team, if I ran Measured with her and she was able to get that, like, 5 stack in round 1 so easily, I think, yes, bringing Measured back would be great. This is a really good set if you've got Stamina Restore, and it's also a good set for the flight suits because you can go ahead and jump into the suit if the stamina is getting too low for your liking. So on this one, I'm just going to do one more with the Terminating Javelin, which just decimated him. I'm going to go with Shield Slam. And man, that is a laggy animation. Alright, so she is full stacks. So this time we're going to have Adam Warlock create the lead-in with the extra turns. And, I mean, alright, we'll have him put somebody away for a change. Oof. Just beastie right there. I'm gonna have him pass, and we'll see what Carolina does on this one. pretty good. I mean, nearly 30k again. Now, what the rectifier would do is it would go ahead and say, alright, everything you do that is energy has a higher chance to crit, and you'll heal from it. So, you could very much make a case of dropping one of the cosmic set pieces and slapping in the rectifier if you have it. So that's her ISO over there. Brilliant flash. He's still hit. And you know what? With Carolina being around and the shield on everybody, that means we get that lovely little benefit that would have been good in the current meta of immune to blind and dark effects. So everybody kind of turns into Cloak and Dagger. At least Cloak and Dagger's protection. I think I will run a measured with her instead of her personal ISO. I just, much like Satana's, I just don't think it does a whole lot. Alright, so in this case, since I have a debuff on the agent, I may as well use the shield. By the way, Carolina gains her stack before the javelin goes off, so it's not like she waits and then gains 2 stacks. If for some reason the javelin is interrupted, she still gains the stack from the decimator. And when the decimator counters, she gains a stack. So she's right ready to go. And she even attempted to blind him even though he got interrupted. This will be another energy attack, so if she was not at full stacks, she'd have it here. Alright, now Carolina is going to be buffed up to do her level 9 from Adam and the suit. So I'm kind of curious as to what this is going to do right here. Jesus Christ. 42k and 51k. Alright, we are... Let's try to take this into PvP, and let's give her the measured ISO. And then that will be it for Team Energy to burn. So as you can see, that was the Banewalker team up over there. And I forgot about that sword. The sword was mentioned in the comments of that video, and I was like, oh my god, that's... Yeah, that's amazing. I should have done that. So we'll get Adam over here. He's an easy one to find. Just scroll all the way to the end. By the way, if you haven't seen Songbird in Marvel Future Fight, she seems pretty cool in Marvel Future Fight. One of the more knowledgeable people that I know kind of declared her a two-trick pony, but she seems strong in that game. She just seems to have like a constant level of attacks. And she's got like what looks like a giant AoE stun. I think she might actually be pretty good in Marvel Future Fight. Although honestly, I'm one of the few people that really ever said she was pretty good in this game too. Alright, let's see if that measured one is in the store. I believe it is. One of the newer ones, so we can skip ahead a bit. Single target gains the measured attack. I think the one that I had was floating around free because I used to have it on Spitfire until I got tired of all the phased people, and I was like, okay, you're going mystical. I don't see Angrier enough to really have to worry about that anymore, so mystical you go. And I mean, to be honest, I certainly could build up stacks against people who were phased, and then just blow them away after the phase dropped off, but enough people were like, dude, just do it already, and I kind of caved to the pressure and made a mystical Spitfire towards the end. Alright, so Caroline is now set up for that. Adam Warlock is set. We're just going to change up the agent gear. I could really bring in the Rectifier, but in PvP, you're going to expect debuffs and everything. So, I'm going to bring that in to worry about clearing us off if anything happens. Of course, if I was running something like the Generalist flight suit instead of the Tactician one, that might be a little bit different. Also, that free action Cosmic Shield is not necessarily a bad idea either. And it's funny, when I kept glossing over it, because this looks so much like the Cosmic Divide, or that Tesseract Cube one, that even though I was like typing in Radiant, I was seeing it, but I wasn't processing it. No, I don't have the... Is it Tesseract? Tesseract Simulation. Yeah, it's... In my head, I was picturing this thing, and I just kept glossing right over it, going, where is that fourth piece of this set? Okay, so the agent in the flight suit. Adam Warlock, Carolina Dean, Cosmic set plus the Cosmic Cardinal. Let's give it a go. This is the first time I've taken them in PvP, and as you guys know from my videos, bad ones, good ones, they go in there. I think the team's got a strong chance. I really do. If things work well, that Carolina goes late in the first round, and she has a lot of stacks, this could be better. Alright, so he may not have debuff protection. Psychic Warding, follow-up Living Force. Now he's got the anti-bleed. He's got a Deb. And of course, that's the problem with running this on the Tactician suit. It pisses off Cloak and Dagger. Yep, he's got debuff prevention. I really would... That's something that's definitely going to be in the bug video, that's for sure. Interesting. Of course, I would pick the team that would have the Deb as a counter to this, but she's still got a stack, and the follow-up happened, so 2 stacks for Carolina. Cloak and Dagger's getting baited into my agent, which is typical when a Tactician is on the field. With the Deb being around, this could be bad. The agent is taking advantage of blasters. She's at 3 stacks. So let's see what happens if we get, like, really aggressive here. Nice damage. 4 stacks. not really too sure why he got an extra turn when he... Oh, the Deb gave him the extra turn, that's why. Alright, so Carolina is in as best shape as possible here. She is at full stacks, and she's got her shield up, and she's got shield slam up, so let's see what happens. Ridiculously weak. Yeah, that was very, very disappointing. However, she's got a stack back, and we have killed somebody, so we have the man up. And a good thing about this team is that, in reality, having debuffs on the enemy team is not the deal. This is a power team for your side. She's still ethereal, but that's okay. Doing that on my agent set up another stack for her. This one isn't energy, though, unfortunately. Shields back up and energize. Let's give Carolina more stacks. Nice hit. And we got the splash, which is pretty cool. We can't hit him with debuff, so trying to use Lucy in the Sky is not worth it. Gonna see what kind of damage this will do. Pretty solid. Plus it's another stack for Carolina, who's coming up. That's such a big heal. I actually am not... Well, yeah, let's go for it. Should have gone with the disadvantage one, honestly. She's back up to full stacks. Let's see what kind of damage she does here. We basically ignored a lot of the damage from Cloak and Dagger on that one, which is pretty good. 7k attack, Imperium Energy 5. Is she shielded? Phase frequencies. It's not actually saying she is shielded. Weak again. That's really disappointing. That should be running better than this, in all honesty. However, Adam Warlock is certainly doing his job. You knew it was coming at some point. And Carolina's really hurt by that one. Mind control, she got hurt pretty bad on that. His damage is gone in the shitter now. Hey, you know, that's just more energy for Carolina. She does more damage to her own team. That's so sad. Damn. That's the one I need, is Destabilizer. You knew it. Like, I knew that was gonna happen. I really did. Wow, he's hurt pretty bad, too. He probably will kill himself if he goes to attack, so... Let's keep him around a little bit longer. And this is always the problem you run into, or would have run into, if you were trying this out in the meta. This would probably require a very offensive armory. That should give us immunity to despair. Alright. Wow, Adam is right on death's door. Let's try the stun this time. Running real low on suit power. I haven't gone that deep with the suit. It would be nice if this could actually hit, and she dodges again. My god. Still flustered. And he's got the anti-melee. I'm disappointed in Carolina's damage in all of this. It just... She seems to be, at times, so perfectly set up for it. Yeah, she's not bringing home the bacon like I had hoped here. Adam's doing okay, and he's doing okay as a good setup for her, but... nothing else really seems to be working too well. And at this point, this is definitely going to be a loss unless another rally beacon comes up, and I'm not too sure if I've got the power. Yeah, I didn't think I had the power for it. Sounded like... No, that was biofeedback. I was gonna say, it sounded like she took a stun, but she didn't. And this, unfortunately, is definitely the problem when you bring tacticians to fights where Cloak and Dagger is around. She always goes for them, and she just keeps that combat reflexes up all the time. He might score the kill. Wow, that's strange. That was predicted to do way more damage than it really did. Okay, well, we actually came up with the win, but unfortunately, as you know, the way PvP would have went, that was way too long, and I really should have compared stats over there. Well, there you guys go. There is Team Energy to burn out of workable, plausible, and failure. I would say plausible. Being if you tilted the armory towards offense, and you had good turn order, and Carolina came out of the first round with 5 stacks, maybe. I'm disappointed in her, but I'm happy with the agent and Adam Warlock. Potentially taking away the shield and dropping in the rectifier may have made things a little bit better, as you're giving these two a higher chance to crit, and they would heal every time they did energy actions. The agent would be healing after all of this. The agent would be healing in the suit. The thing that gets tricky is you'd have to use the rectifier right as you went into the suit to gain the maximum benefit of the rectifier's active buffs until it went off. And then once you're in the suit, you can't reapply it again. So, highly tactical, but not as impressed as the simulators were. But there you guys go. There is Team Energy to Burn. Hope you liked the video. Peace out, everybody.